Good morning. It is the DE Diva, aka the Delaware blogger, coming to you with another episode of Podcasting Your Purpose. And let me tell you what today's title is. Yes, podcasts and potholes. Do you ever feel like your podcast is not the way you want it? It's never done. It's not the way, it just doesn't sound right. It's kind of bumpy. You need some repairs, you need some changes, and you're always under construction. Well, it happens. Think about this. Roadways, highways, byways, freeways are always under construction. There are always potholes to be filled, repairs to be made. Winter, spring, summer, fall, it does not matter. They're always under construction. They're never, ever one and done. And think about this. States are spending millions of dollars on construction to repair these potholes, to get these roads straight. And if they're spending millions and it's not being done, then what makes you think that your podcast, when you're not even spending that kind of money, I hope you're not spending that kind of money on your podcast, what makes you think that your podcast is going to be perfect all the time and that it's not going to be under construction? Because there's always something new. There's always a new shiny object out there that we want to add. We want to add voiceovers. We want to add intros. We want to add waves and headliners. There's always something new to, add to a podcast, because the ultimate goal for most is sponsorships and monetizing. How do I get sponsors on my podcast? How do I monetize my podcast? And that's when the frustration really begins to set in. So last evening, I had an opportunity, thank you, Terry, and to the group, I had an opportunity to speak with a group of podcasters who are also in the horticulture industry. And that was the number one question on the tops of minds for everyone. How do I get more listeners? How do I get myself promoted? How do I get myself out there? And obviously, I give them the same tips that I'm going to give to you today. But today's mug, yep, that's the Delaware Blogger Podcast mug. You see that? Oh, and I wanted to show you another one. As a matter of fact, I'm always asking you to send me a mug or send me, a description of your mug. But this is not a mug, but this was a cup that was made for me years ago. Del Blogger. And this is a heavy duty cup. And it's amazing. I got to get her card and I'll show you who made that. And I'll look it up and see if she's still making them. But this is an awesome, awesome cup. Big water cup. So it's going to come in handy as the weather changes and we get outside. But this is a great cup. But today's mug is brought to you by me, the Delaware Blogger Podcast. So the question is, how do I get people to listen, and how do I get sponsors to take notice? So again, setting up that promotion schedule. Have the schedule so that you know what episodes, the dates, the times, and make sure you keep a track of your demographics, where your listeners coming in from, what is the age. You can get all this from your hosting platforms, Anchor included. You can see your demographics, how many men, how many women, which platform are they listening from. Some people are actually listening from their laptop. Some are listening from Apple. Some people are listening from SoundCloud. So you get all that information. So make sure you keep a running tally of that, setting up your schedule, setting up your times and all of that. Using social media, use those free social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, whatever the case may be. But make sure you're using them as well as your website, if you're a business owner with a website, and your blog, i.e. Del Blogger, to promote your podcast. You can embed your shows in there. You can promote them as well. And as a matter of fact, I just signed up for Podpage.com. So I'm going to take a look and see if that's going to help me get my podcast promoted a little bit more, because right now I'm embedding it into my blog, but I wanted to have a website specifically for my blog. So I signed up for Podpage. I'm going to check it out. They've got different plans to meet everyone's budget, but I'll let you know after about a week or so. I'll come back and tell you what I think about Podpage. Facebook groups and communities. You want to join Facebook groups and communities. You learn so much with those groups. And not only do you learn from those groups, you also can share your information and knowledge. So I am loving those groups. Good morning, Althea Richardson. How are you today on this beautifully blessed and thankful Thursday? Today we're talking about podcast and potholes, kind of comparing how we're always under construction with our podcast. So again, you want to make sure that you join those Facebook groups and those communities because you'll learn a whole lot. Hey, Althea, got your coffee? So share knowledge, gain knowledge. That's how I found out about Pod Page. Repurposing content. Do you have content that you have always had? Don't try to don't try to create content new every day. If you have a book, if you have a blog, if you have a website, if you're promoting products, services, let people know. Use content that you already know and you're comfortable with providing. Again, you've got to be comfortable because when people are listening to you, they hear that enthusiasm in your voice. They want to make sure that you know what you're talking about. If you're excited about it, then they'll be excited about it and they'll want to be a part of your podcast. So, make sure that whatever it is, it's content that you have. Good deal out there. Have your coffee. Next thing I told them, going live. Go live on Facebook. Go live on LinkedIn. Go live on YouTube to share your content, to promote your podcast. You can let them know that your episode, like yesterday, Blog Your Way to a Business Profit was Wednesday. Every Wednesday at 1 is a new episode. And so yesterday, I want you to go and I want you to check out my podcast, Anchor FM. I did a special one this week, but I'm usually doing it on Saturday morning. So that's great. Hey, Kathy, how you doing? Good morning on this thankful Thursday. We're talking about podcasts and potholes, how roads are under construction as well as podcasts are always under construction. Another thing you can do is collaborate with other podcasters. Come together because now you're able to share audiences and to grow your own. So find another podcaster that's in your niche, invite him or her onto your show or vice versa. And that's what's so great about those Facebook communities, those Facebook groups, because you're collaborating with others to increase your numbers. Again, I use the analogy, throwing that pebble into the pond and the ripple effects. Again, the consistency, the collaboration is going to widen your audience. And talking about consistency, please be consistent. Your followers, your listeners, they're listening. They're going to be looking for you. So if you're going to put out a show once a week, make sure you are consistent with once a week. My girl, Kathy, who's on, she is consistent when it comes to her live stream videos. If she says she's going to come to you every day for 30 days, she's going to do it because you're looking for her. So be consistent. Choose the day that you're going to always drop your new episode. You can pre-record it anytime, but if people are looking for you, they want to be able to find you. Don't break that date. Remember, this is an intimate relationship that you are creating, and no one wants to be stood up, whether it's by a podcaster or a partner. So be consistent. And last but not least, the last thing that I told them, and I tell you this all the time, is CTA, have a call to action. What do you want me to do after I listen to this podcast? Do you want me to subscribe? Do you want me to give you a review? Do you want me to share this? What do you want me to do? We are so used to being told what to do that when you finish something and you don't do that, we feel kind of empty. So again, subscribe to dellblogger.com. Head over to dellblogger.com where you can order your book. Tell me what you want me to do. Share this podcast with your family, your friends. Thumbs up this video, ring that bell. Make sure you do what make sure you tell them what you want to do. So when it comes to selling, sponsorships or merchandise, you adding that all in the mix. Please don't beat yourself up. We've all been there. We're still there. Some of us are still there, but we're all in this together. Remember, the podcast is your voice, your vision, your mission, and you can change someone's life. So if you've affected one person, you're doing a great job. Your podcast may never sound perfect, but don't give up because it's always going to be under construction. So thank you so very much for just giving me a few minutes of your time on this thankful Thursday. And you know what? Podcasting Your Purpose. I'm coming here every day, Monday through Friday. For I don't know, but I want you, if you want to talk about your podcast, you want to plan your podcast, I offer that 30-minute complimentary discovery call, because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So let's talk about what it is that you want to do. What is it that you need? I'm not, all that in a bag of chips, but maybe together we can come up with something that's going to help you, help me, and, help our community. So that is available. If you want, just head over to, and leave me an email at info@ablakeenterprises.com and let me know that you're interested in that 30-minute complimentary discovery call. Or if you are interested in my book, don't forget, head over to, let me just give you my LinkedIn. Head over to delblogger.com. Not only can you order your basic blogging tips for beginner book, but I also have the Podcasting Your Purpose workbook. Again, this is 42 pages of information. And thank you, Kathy, for reviewing it for me. I'm going to be working on the second edition. But the great thing about this workbook is it starts from what is a podcast, why start a podcast, the power of podcasting, planning a podcast, podcasting like a pro. Are you going to use microphones? Are you going to use Audacity? What are you going to do? Podcasting promotion pointers. And that is why I'm always finding things to promote your podcast, like Podpage, Headliner, Intro Champ. There's ways to promote your podcast. Podcasting for profit. What do you want to do when it comes to monetizing? How are you going to sell your show? And remember, you are your own niche media. So you set the rates based on what you think your sponsors would be willing to pay. Find out what their budget is and work it in. If you are promoting products and services, here was another tip I talked to them about last night. If you are promoting a product or a service on your podcast, make sure that when you're promoting it on your blog, your website, or on social media, that you are tagging or mentioning the company that you've mentioned in your podcast. Let them know that they're getting some sort of free advertisement on your podcast. And you know what? Why not even just send an email to their media department? This was something that Teresa, who was on the in the group last night, mentioned. If you are interested in a product or a service, why not contact the company's media person, invite to have someone on your podcast to speak, to give their information. And then after the fact, ask them, hey, or tell them, hey, that was a great podcasting episode. Do you think that you would be interested in sponsoring my show? There you go. Another tip that I need to add to not only my list, but also to my book. So there's always something to, think about. It's always under construction. Thank you, Althea. I am just doing my best here. Let's see. Good information. Thank you. Caught you live. Thank you. Okay. So don't forget, Podcasting Your Purpose workbook is available on Amazon, or the book bundle is still available. I have 5 left. Wait a minute, I have 4 left. Together, they're $26. Solo, $9.99, $15.99. You can order this directly on Amazon. You can order this directly from my website, delblogger.com. So remember, do you, boo-boo. Your podcast is always going to be under construction. Practice, practice, progress, practice, practice, progress. Do not frustrate yourself. Do you, boo-boo. So if you're interested in the 30-minute complimentary call, send an email to info@ablakeenterprises.com. If you want to sign up for the 60-minute mini coaching session, that's $77. The 90-minute mini coaching session is $97. And we go deep dive, heads down, and you do get a book, the workbook, as part of the session. So that's already included. Until the next time, don't forget, let me know which mug you want me to drink from the next time. Until the next time, stay smart, stay safe, and stay social, because I will see you in cyberspace. See ya. It's the DE Diva. Have a beautifully blessed Thursday. It's going to be a nice weekend. Get out there and do your thing. Enjoy the day. See ya. I love this cut. See you, Kathy. Althea. See you tomorrow. Enjoy your beautifully blessed day.